Oh, I want to show you guys something while we're sitting here and the workload isn't yet too high with the IFR. Something that, not a client, a YouTube watcher emailed me asking me this question. So I was talking to my student apparently about user waypoints, and that's these little white things here. So USR 19059, USR 120. So I basically made up this flight plan and then sent it to the system. So it's made up of US waypoints, pretty much. That's what they're called. And so for those of you who have for a while been sending your flight plans from your ForeFlight via Bluetooth to the system, you know that it generates user waypoints to make up your route of flight. But this person was asking me, is there a way, if I'm flying without my flight plan, is there a way to go ahead and actually create a user waypoint, say right over here on top of that mountain, or anywhere for that matter, anywhere I'd like, a way to create a user waypoint just like this one, to which my plane can track direct to. Not using my iPad, not using any of that, just using the Avionics. And so I wrote them back, there is, and I also told them that I'll make a little video on it and show you guys. So in fact, there is a way to go ahead and park, if you will, a user waypoint anywhere you'd like. You could put, if you want to track direct to here, you could go ahead and create a user waypoint right there, which I'll show you in a moment how to do that. And then you could go ahead and just do the direct enter function. Your plane will track all the way to it, accounting for wind correction angle and all this good stuff. So here's how we do it. So if I want, say, to go ahead and create a user waypoint right on this freeway, right over there. So here's how we do it. Right here, the range knob, the right left, press it in, so click it. Now, you basically have that cursor going on, and you could, with your finger, move the actual range knob to the left or right, and you see the cursor moves along the screen. See that? So I could move it up, I could press it, move it down, and I could move it sideways, left, right, I could click it, I could move it fast, I could move it slow. So what you want to do first is park the cursor right where you want the user waypoint to be. So let's say we want the user waypoint to be right there on top of that mountain, not on top of the mountain, but right over there. So you want to keep it over there, and here's what you want to do with your avionics. You want to straight away press direct to right here. You ready for this? Direct to, and look what comes up. Manual waypoint. And you could not only create a waypoint right there, or a user waypoint, you have some options. It shows you the distance and the bearing to it, of course. But what you could do is you could even set up VNAV and tell it, hey, I want to show up at that waypoint at 5,500 feet. You could do enter. But not only that, you could also tell it, I want to show up at 5,500, but I want to be sure that I'm at 5,500 when I reach it. So therefore, I want you, VNAV, to reach 5,500 a mile prior to reaching that waypoint, or 2 miles prior. So you could even right here on the right do -1, -2, -3, and that's where 5,500 feet will be reached. You could do it either at or as many miles prior to the waypoint. So it's a really cool, sophisticated VNAV with this user waypoint. Or I could just go ahead and not do the VNAV, and then I could do, so I did direct, right? So right here, the cursor's there, direct, and then I could do enter, and then enter again. It's already on activate, and look what happens. Before I do that, I'll go ahead and sync to heading, because I don't want the plane to start moving. So I sync the heading bug, and I'm switching to heading mode, so right now the plane is on heading. And look what happens. I do enter, and look at that. The plane, essentially, if I were still in nav mode, would turn and track to this waypoint that I created. Isn't that crazy? So I don't need my iPad to send stuff to the system. I could go and I could undo the cursor there. And now I could zoom out, and there it is. The plane will track straight to it. So I don't need an iPad, I don't need anything. Just with my avionics, I could go ahead. Again, here's how to do it. Press in the cursor, move it to wherever you want to create the waypoint, and then all you need to do is direct enter, enter. Check it out. Direct, enter, enter. Boom. A line takes you straight to it. I'm not going to it because I'm in heading mode. I'm headed southbound. But I hope this makes simple, stupid sense that you can create a user waypoint. Now, if you see here on the top, see this orange little box? That's just like any other user waypoint. And so that's where you get all these different user waypoints in the system on your screen, unless you select to have them off. So I hope that makes sense. Nothing too complicated. That's a cool, neat feature of the G1000. Many people don't know that you could do it with your Avionics only. People just think that you could actually only get them on there with your ForeFlight. So keep that in mind. It's a really easy way to do it. And there we have it. So now I'll get back to my flight plan. I'll do flight plan, and I'll highlight, and I'll actually scroll down to the waypoint I want to go to next, which in my case is USR 120 down by Mojave. I'll do direct, enter, enter, and now I'm back on my flight plan to Torrance, and I'll switch back to nav mode right there. So now I'm back to square one, which is where I was before I started talking about the user waypoint. And that's that. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's helpful for people out there.